Not too long, Alexa, not too long. Okay.
Давай, дальше ногу. Пошел. Бам, выше его. Да.
Дай leg. Okay.
Now, you obviously sat ringside at Usyk Fury 2. When you were there, did you think, oh, I could fight Usyk?
No, 100%. I've always, like, watching the fights, I always think, like, I could do this. I could definitely, be here with these guys. But, yeah, to be honest, like, not in my wildest dreams would I think, like, oh, I'm going to be in there for the WBC Heavyweight World Championship. It's like,
And now it's happening.
Yeah.
Undisputed versus Undisputed. That's the title for our next crossover fight. Two combat sports legends are set to meet at the foot of the Great Pyramids of Giza for a heavyweight boxing clash that has the WBC heavyweight boxing belt as the prize. This fight isn't like the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul or Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou fight. This is a real fight, and Usyk wanted it that way. Usyk has to be one of the most talented heavyweight boxers, and his decision to fight this crossover fight at the foot of the pyramids has to be the smartest decision he's ever made. We've rarely seen fights take place at unique locations, but this one is different, and it could possibly pull plenty of eyeballs.
It's been a crazy week in the world of boxing, and it's just got a bit crazier. Oleksandr Usyk will fight May 23rd in Egypt. I don't think there's ever been a heavyweight title fight in Egypt. I don't think there's been a title fight in Egypt. He will take on the kickboxer Rico Verhoeven. Yeah, that's happening. You know what's interesting? What I've just seen here. It says Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven for the WBC heavyweight title. It doesn't say anything about the other belts. Obviously, Fabio Wardley is the WBO champion. So what's the situation with the IBF and the WBA? Is Oleksandr Usyk vacating them? Did those sanctioning bodies not agree to this? Maybe the latter, right? Yeah, this is wild. AJ was scheduled, or at least there was a lot of talk about AJ fighting Rico Verhoeven. That was going to be the fight after Jake Paul, and then I guess it was going to be Tyson Fury. Obviously, with AJ out, Oleksandr Usyk steps in and will take on one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. I'm actually quite a big kickboxing fan, so I know quite a lot about him. I've watched a few of his fights over the years. They used to call him the Prince of Kickboxing, and then he elevated to the King of Kickboxing. I mean, he's a very, very, very good kickboxer who's got decent hands. I can't lie to you. It's funny, yeah? When they said that AJ was going to fight Rico, I was like, I'm serious, by the way. I was like, I didn't like the idea of AJ fighting him for some weird reason, just because he's got a granite chin, he's got decent hands, he's a big lump, he's about 20 stone, 6'5", so he's a big boy. But AJ's not Oleksandr Usyk, right? I mean, where AJ isn't where Oleksandr Usyk is. Oleksandr Usyk's the #1 heavyweight in the world, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. AJ, this stage of his career, certainly isn't.
Now, Usyk himself has spoken about this fight and rubbished all the critics who have slammed this matchup. During the latest press conference for the fight, Usyk called this bout a real fight and disregarded his critics by saying that he does what he wants for once.
Phil, we are very happy to see you back. I think boxing smiles when they see the name Usyk on a poster. But being here again, Oleksandr, on the big stage, how does it feel for you to be back once again?
I feel good. Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit, 6 months. Yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you organization who do this. Thank you Rico. Thank you Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, "Why you choose as a not boxer?" It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, please, one time I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you have to boxing like this. You must boxing like this. I say, okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you so much.
You can't blame Usyk for not rejecting this opportunity to fight Verhoeven and fight someone from his division. All through his career, Usyk has been fighting the best boxers in his division and dismantling them one by one. He fought Tyson Fury twice and became undisputed. He then fought Daniel Dubois and defended his belts. After successfully beating all the top names in his division, Usyk has nothing more to prove and should now have the freedom to fight whoever he wants. Legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas shared this exact sentiment during his analysis and defended Usyk for taking this challenge. He stated that Usyk deserves this fight after other heavyweights had their own crossover fights. He also touched on Usyk's belts being on the line, calling it a different kind of fight.
Now, we've had a history. It's an entertainment business, right? And I know there'll be people that are going to say that, they're going to be pros and cons about it. My feeling is, look, Usyk has earned the right to take a one-off, if you want to call it that. And just like everyone else is taking a shot at doing that, he's earned the right. He's fought everybody. And he has put himself now into that status where he can be called one of the great heavyweights of all time. He's earned that. He's fought everyone. Olympic gold medalist, unified the cruiserweight titles, and then fought everyone heavyweight, beat all the bigger guys. I think the question with this one would be that with the others that we've seen Joshua and Ngannou, Tyson Fury and Ngannou, Jake Paul recently with Joshua, they were known as events. They put him off his fights, and they had obviously a real a real danger to them as a fight, and they played out where guys got knocked out in some of those fights, but they weren't sanctioned for a title. I think what makes this a little bit different to me is that the WBA is sanctioning it as a title defense for Usyk. That makes it a little bit different. There's going to be some people who are going to say, well, it's not fair to some of the heavyweights out there, professional heavyweights that are not kickboxers, that are heavyweights, professional boxers, and they deserve a shot. But for a guy who's a kickboxer and who has had one professional boxing match, he's 1-0 against the guy that, who knows. But, so I can understand.
Renowned boxing promoter Eddie Hearn also showed his full support for this matchup by being present at the latest press conference ahead of this fight. Hearn highlighted the historic nature of this heavyweight championship taking place at the Great Pyramids. He labels Rico Verhoeven crazy for stepping up to face Oleksandr Usyk months after the previous fight with Anthony Joshua fell through, noting Rico's immense confidence. However, Hearn describes Usyk as a generational talent and the pound-for-pound #1. Ultimately, he frames the match as the king of boxing against the king of kickboxing, promising an unforgettable night where anything can happen.
You're about to see a show, the World Heavyweight Championship, staged at the foot of the pyramids in Egypt. It's going to be something that's never been done before. I said to him down there, I'm going to have to tell the world, you are crazy. This guy is crazy. I mean, he signed up to fight Anthony Joshua. Unfortunately, after the tragedy, that fight didn't take place. And then he signed straight up to fight Oleksandr Usyk. But what that tells you, he has a huge amount of confidence and a huge amount of belief. He has a great training team. He has Peter Fury, who knows heavyweight boxing inside out. And what he has is dynamite in both hands, and hands like shovels as well. But he is fighting, in my opinion, not just the pound-for-pound #1, but one of the greatest fighters across any generation in sport. Oleksandr Usyk is one of a kind that I think we've never, ever seen before. I think we should appreciate him while he's here. And now you have the pound-for-pound king of boxing against the pound-for-pound king of kickboxing. It's going to be an incredible event. It's heavyweight boxing, and anything can happen. As I said, this man's got a pyramid to climb on May 23rd against one of the all-time greats. But something tells me with a look in his eye, he's coming to win. He believes he can win, and we'll see if he can do maybe the impossible on what will be a night that I think boxing fans will never forget in Giza in Egypt on May the 23rd live.
When you have renowned names like this supporting this fight, you know Usyk has taken the right decision. Vesides. Rico Verhoeven is no underdog fighter, having been trained in several disciplines, and even fighting in a professional boxing match, even though he only fought one professional boxing fight in his 2 decades Keikanji kickboxing career. Verhoeven has also trained and sparred with the likes of Tyson Fury, and therefore he shouldn't have a difficult time adjusting to the boxing ring. During the presser, Rico expressed his profound excitement and gratitude for the opportunity to face Usyk. He acknowledges that while some may call him crazy for taking on such a dominant champion, he believes that achieving perfection in any discipline requires a level of obsessive passion.
From you so far since the fight has been announced, Eddie Hearn says you're crazy. I just wonder, in your mind, what does all this mean to you, Rico? A man who's mastered his kickboxing craft, to be sharing the boxing ring with Oleksandr Usyk, with an opportunity for yourself, let's not forget, to become world heavyweight champion. Just tell us what this all means to you, Rico, and why.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, all smiles, because what an opportunity we have to upset the world and write history. And exactly what Eddie said. Are you crazy? I think to be the very best at what you're doing, you have to be a little bit crazy. And I think that's not just me. I think that's in every vertical and every discipline. You do something, you have to be a little bit crazy and obsessed with what you're doing. And that's what I am. What I do to the point perfect. I do to perfection. In my vision, I love it, I enjoy it, I do it with so much passion, and I'm crazy excited to be here. Yeah, super thankful for the opportunity that Oleksandr Usyk is giving me. Like he said, he's doing something that he wants to do now, and he was open to the fight, he was excited about the fight, because it's something new, it's something different. We're bringing new eyeballs to combat sports in general. We're colliding two worlds together, kickboxing and boxing, to make the sport of combat even bigger. So, like I said, super thankful. For a lot of people that do not know, Jason Statham is one of the people that initiated this opportunity. So super thankful to him, and of course also His Excellency, because they were talking about it and he said, let's do it. And then first we got the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua because of the tragic accident that got derailed. And then this opportunity came across. So super happy and thankful to be here.
Verhoeven's trainer, Coach Peter Fury, also shared his perspective on the upcoming matchup. He notes his long-standing 15-year relationship with Rico, having previously worked with him on the boxing side of his kickboxing training. Fury acknowledges that transitioning to a full boxing match presents a different ballgame regarding styles and stances, but he describes Rico as a phenomenal athlete who, much like Usyk, possesses deep-seated beliefs and a relentless drive to climb the highest mountains. Fury warns that the fight will not be as easy for Usyk as some might expect, emphasizing that Rico isn't participating for a paycheck, having turned down more lucrative offers in other sports, but is coming to win.
Lisa, welcome. Just talk to us about your experience so far. You've worked with a lot of great fighters, but how's everything clicking together in the gym with this man? A new challenge for you as well as a coach.
Well, we go back a long way, actually, about 15 years. So I've always done the boxing side with Rico and his trainer, Dennis. But for kickboxing. So now it's a different ball game because it's boxing. Styles are different, stances, and 1 to 100, you name it. But if ever there's a guy who likes to climb Mount Everest, it's Rico Verhoeven. And he's a phenomenal person. He's just like Usyk. He's like Usyk in his beliefs, really nice guy, and he's a credit to the sport. So I can't speak highly enough of him. It's not going to be as easy as what people think it is, because nobody's here. He's not coming for a paycheck. He was offered a lot more money in other sports. He turned that down for this one. So he's super enthusiastic about it. And look, of course it's a difficult challenge. I think Usyk is the best heavyweight in the world, and he's earned it. And he's got my total respect. I think he's a fabulous guy. But look, this is a sport we're in. It's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen when that bell goes. And, you know, Rico, he's not coming to make the numbers. He's coming to win.
But let's touch on the controversy regarding Usyk's WBC belt being on the line for this fight. It's bizarre that the WBC agreed to having their belt on the line in a crossover fight, especially when there are so many heavyweight boxers waiting in line to fight Usyk for the belts. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Rico shared his opinion on the WBC putting Usyk's belt as the prize for the winner of this clash. He did empathize with fans, but agreed that it makes this fight even more exciting. He shared some behind-the-scenes details regarding the WBC, stating that the boxing sanctioning body initially decided to create a special belt for this fight, but later decided to make this a sanctioned fight by putting Usyk's belt on the line, meaning that Usyk would lose his belt if he lost this fight.
WBC said they would create a special belt, and then 2 days later they said, no, in fact, the belt will be on the line. What were you told?
No, they said, yeah, we want to do something, but we'll let you know, like, what it's going to be. If it's going to be for a title, if it's going to be for one title, if it's going to be for whatever. Like, so like, yeah, let's see. I'm okay with just like facing Usyk. Just, and then they came like, hey, the WBC belt will be on the line because he has like a voluntary defense.
Yeah.
WBC has their, yeah, I don't exactly know what they have, but they have like these certain rules or sanctions, how they look at opponents, if they're credible enough. So I guess the WBC looked at my credibility from a martial art standpoint as a kickboxer. And yeah, like I said, I've been dominating the sport of kickboxing, of course, for over a decade. So I guess, yeah, there was resume enough for them. to sanction this as a WBC world title, heavyweight title fight.
Verhoeven further shut down boxing fans' disagreements over the WBC, making this a sanctioned fight by putting Usyk's belt on the line. He believes the sport of boxing has grown far beyond just allowing natural boxers to fight sanctioned bouts. He pointed out the Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury fight, which had similar concerns but became a major spectacle among boxing and MMA fans alike. Verhoeven believes this fight will be equally successful and generate plenty of views.
You know, this and that. What is your response to those people who say you shouldn't get a WBC title fight?
Totally understand. I totally understand because it's their sport. It's what they love and what they defend, of course. But I think we're in a totally different time than 5 or 10 years ago, and I think everything just keeps on developing, and it's such on a broader and bigger scale than it ever was. And especially if you look at it now, I remember the time like before we had the Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight. I saw a lot of like posts on social media of like, hey, boxing is dead. Boxing is not out there anymore. This, that, blah, blah. But then His Excellency came and he put up the big fight versus Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury, and all eyes were on it. And I think that's when everything within the world of boxing became back to being relevant. And as big as it is today, I think it's been a long time since it's been here. And why is that? Because I think His Excellency goes right when everybody's going left. So he's just thinking outside the box. And everybody wants to keep it in that exact box. But yeah, why not go outside the box? I love the idea.
Do you have any idea why the IBF or WBA belts that he holds aren't on the line as well?
No, sir. I have no clue.
Okay.
It remains to be seen whether this fight will be successful like the AJ versus Jake Paul fight or the Fury versus Francis Ngannou fight. This fight likely won't do as well considering it's a DAZN PPV rather than a Netflix fight. This fight will, however, successfully promote the fight in Egypt, a country which hasn't produced many boxers nor has ever hosted a massive fight like this. Aid Oladipo summed it perfectly.
So I guess it makes the matchup appear even more strange. Look, I like the idea of going to Egypt, by the way. I think it's good when boxing goes to different places in the world. I think these are events that you remember. There was some talk about Oleksandr Usyk signing with Zuffa. I prayed and had my fingers crossed that it was going to be Oleksandr Usyk versus Agit Kabayel. Now, some of you might be right here. You're like, oh, 1 second. Oleksandr Usyk's done everything asked of him, whether that be as an amateur, whether that be in the cruiserweight division, and so far in the heavyweight division. Give him one. And I kind of see the argument for that. Look, I'm not saying I like it. I kind of see the argument for it. Tyson Fury had one, didn't he? Tyson Fury had a knock against Francis Ngannou as a heavyweight champion. So I don't see much difference between that and this, although that got critiqued as well. AJ, I guess, had one against Jake Paul. Again, people were complaining, but he still went and did it. So look, Oleksandr Usyk has entertained me for nearly a decade. And I always find it difficult, and I think I said this before in a video, I find it difficult to say anything negative about Oleksandr Usyk, anything negative at all. Would I like him to stay more busy? Yes. Would I like him to fight the next man up? Absolutely. But I don't think I'm going to crucify him for doing this. I don't. Maybe I should. And I think a lot of you guys in the comment section, look, again, feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I think a lot of you might crucify him for doing it. But when someone has become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world twice, cruiserweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, world championship gold medalist, you can have one. You can have one. And then we'll see if he falls back into the routine of fighting the next man up.
So, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this fight. Is this a great fight for boxing fans? Do you think Rico Verhoeven can beat Oleksandr Usyk in this crossover clash? Also, who would you want to see Usyk fight next? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.